Hi, Jason Levine here with the Dice Tower and bringing you another Gen Con preview. Today we're going to be looking at Nyctophobia, and we're here with Stippell, who is the designer. And to me, this has been a very interesting game. I got to play it at the Gathering, and there's a very interesting story behind the game. So tell me a little bit about how you created this game.
Yeah, so Nyctophobia means fear of the dark. And I designed it because I have an uncle that's blind. So whenever we try to play games with him, the game always has to be modified in some way. And like his experience is just not the same that we have. So I set out to try to design a game where he could play right out of the box without any sort of modification. And that's where how Nyctophobia was born, with the blackout glasses.
I think that's very cool. I mean, you know, we always talk about being inclusive in gaming, and to include people who might not be able to see but can still play a full game. It's a very cool concept.
Yeah, yeah.
And so tell me a little about the game.
So it's a one versus many game, and the theme of it was you were hanging out in a forest and suddenly a madman with an axe shows up, so you all scatter, and you're trying to get back to your car, which is one of the pieces that's hidden on the board, before he kills one of you. And so all but one player are playing the game blindfolded, and you have to do it all through touch. So you'll put your finger on your piece and have to feel around the board, and that's how you'll be moving and doing actions like throwing rocks and things like that. While the one-sided player is either the axe murderer or a mage, and they're controlled. They get to see the board, so they're controlled by a deck of cards. And they'll either, so the deck of cards adds that restriction to balance out being able to see the board.
So I have to be honest, when I played it, I was the deck. I've never done the blindfolded, so I want to try this and see how this feels to do it. So I'm going to throw on these glasses. As you can see, you can't see my eyes anymore, and I really can't see anything. I mean, actually the way these are designed is kind of cool because you could see out of the sides. You can see out of the sides enough that you don't feel claustrophobic. Yeah,
that was a thing during playtesting a lot. We had like pinata masks, like sleep masks, and people were getting too claustrophobic with not being able to see anything. So that's why we got figured out the glasses where you could actually still see on the sides.
It's a very cool feeling. So guide me so I could do something here.
So there's your piece. So you have that's your slot piece.
I can feel it.
So you're able now to feel around directly in front, behind, and left and right of you.
And there's a hole, and there's a hole, and there's a hole, and there's a hole.
Yeah.
So I can move now this way, right?
Yep, that's open, so you can move that way. So you can, I'll put you back on your piece, and you can actually move yourself into the hole.
Oh, you can move yourself?
Yeah. It's definitely an interesting thing with playtesting, having watched everyone figure out how they want to feel, because everyone has their own way of feeling around themselves.
Because now there's a wall here.
Yep, so you can't go that way.
And here.
Yep.
But can keep going this way.
Yeah.
And how many moves do you get in a turn?
So on your turn, you must move 2 spaces, and then you have different actions like moving 1 more space, throwing rocks. That'll be, you start off with some rocks, and then there's some hidden on the board. And then you can also hide, which means you flip your piece over and you pretty much don't exist anymore. Yeah.
I'm telling you, it's really cool. It's a really cool feeling to be able to. And I didn't even realize I saw it before, but you don't realize it. I'm like, I just moved through a little path here, and you really feel like you're moving through, and there's a lot of memory to figure out how to get back.
Oh, yeah.
And I've seen it demoed here a lot. What has been the reaction of people playing this?
They're always like surprised when they take off the glasses, and they're like, they replay where they went, like play by play. Oh, I went down this alley, and then this is where I got hit with the hunter. So it's really cool for everyone to just play it and then immediately start reflecting on what just happened.
No, it's very cool. I mean, for you, this is your first game, isn't it?
Yeah.
And you just kind of came up with this idea after being with your uncle, and that's I just find that incredible that you could say, I want to do something like that. And
And like I never thought it was going to get published because of all the engineering you have to do with all the plastic pieces and things. But like Pandasaurus really came through with all of the game tray stuff and things, all the models.
Yes, I mean the whole setup and this is great. The way the trees are and the pieces, and you really can tell. So if you're over here, you could kind of feel and be like, oh, there's the other piece. Or,
yeah, so if you're playing a multiple game, you can feel it, and like you're like, oh, I found out I'm next to the cross, who's that? And then you can mash all your mental maps together, and it's a really cool thing.
Yes, and I'm assuming I played the Dracula version of it. The same thing, you need to get back to the car piece.
Yeah, so for the mage and the axe, you have to go find the car. You don't know where it is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So you have to find the car and get to the car.
Yeah.
And so this comes in 2 different boxes. You have a Dracula box, and that one you're going around and trying to find the victim.
Yeah.
And then when you find the victim, you have to get back to the car.
Correct, yeah.
And this one, you start in random places and have to get to the car.
Yeah. Yeah.
Interesting, interesting. Do you have other scenarios that you've been working on for this?
Yeah, I have some stuff in the works for other things, yeah.
Cool, cool. So hopefully there'll be more of this coming out.
Yeah, I hope so, yeah.
Yeah, and so I have to ask, which side do you find more fun to play?
I really like being the hunter, the sided player, because you'll have people being like, oh, I think I'm in the south corner, and they're like not even anywhere near that. And it's funny to just watch people think they know what's going on when really they just don't at all.
It is cool. No, this is great. I mean, congratulations to be able to come up with something like this, and then obviously get your first game published, and such a great story with it too, that you must be really proud right now.
Yeah, and we've got my copy for my uncle that's coming home with us, so that'll be awesome to get it to him.
Oh, nice, nice. And then he'll actually get to play it, and you can say, this was all because of you.
Yeah, yep, yeah.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. So have you thought about designing more things, or are you happy at this point, or what's kind of your future plans?
Yeah, I'm designing I have a small card game I'm working on right now, and like expansion stuff for this, hopefully. So, yeah, I hope to keep designing stuff.
Cool. Yeah, I mean, we always say, it's great. A lot of, the talk now is to how to get more diverse people into the industry. So it's great that you could come in and do this, and and I love that the industry is so accepting of everything. Yeah. So it's really great.
Yeah.
And it's a pleasure having you.
Thank you.
If you guys didn't know, Nyctophobia is out now. I know you get it in Target too, right?
Yep, the Vampire Edition's in Target.
So the Vampire Edition's in Target. This edition you could buy at your local game stores. Yeah. So I'm assuming Vampire then is exclusive to Target.
Yeah.
So Vampire Edition is exclusive to Target. If you want the other edition, the Axe Murderer and Mage Edition, you could buy it here at the Pandasaurus booth, or you could buy it through any of your local retailers, through Cool Stuff and everywhere else. Well, it's a pleasure having you on. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you.
So, once again, this is Jason Levine with the Dice Tower, bringing you another preview out at Gen Con.